Good morning, everybody. We are going to start the first session of the CardAppCon, that is the digital session. And for this, we have a very eminent speaker, Dr. Vinay Tos Misra. He is Associate Dean and Associate Professor in the Thornbeck College Management and AI Healthcare, Gulf Medical University, Ajman, UAE. He is also one of the founder member of the CardAppCon Society. He is regularly visiting to Varanasi for this conference, but this year, because of the war and special situation, he is not able to attend it physically, but he is presenting his work digitally. And let's see what are the insight which he have to share on this topic. Dr. Vinay Tos, please. Professor Vinay Tos. Hello. Yes, Vinay.
Hello.
Yes, it's good to go. Dr. Vinay Tos is
Okay.
presenting AI integrated clinical decision support and population specific CKM syndrome management. So over to Vinay Tos.
Thank you for inviting me. And the situation in UAE is under control. So a lot of apprehension, lot of anxiety there in India related because around 10 million people live in Gulf region. So we can assure you the things are good, and we are getting good care from local authorities and government. So the topic for the discussion is AI integrated clinical decision support and population specific CKM management. I have intentionally make the talk less clinical, less technical, sorry, so that everyone can understand it. This is my education, and I'm currently working as associate dean at Thornbeck College of Management and AI in Healthcare at Gulf Medical University. And yes, when we talk about why AI in healthcare, before coming to the clinical decision support system, there have been rapid digital transformation of healthcare, and in economics parlance, we call it creative destruction. So there is one book by Eric Topol, who is a cardiologist from US, and he has a lot of work in AI in healthcare area. He actually talks about the old medicine is seeing the super convergence of wireless genomics imaging, mobility, and bandwidth, internet, social networking, and of course computing power. We nowadays GPUs has become a strategic capability of nations. So these all super convergence is leading old medicine into creative destruction happening, and it's leading towards new medicine. And there is a lot of talk whether some task of the clinical task will be replaced by machine. I will come to that. There is a global not discuss of care, and AI is making it possible that we achieve the quality healthcare at affordable cost. So it is supporting universal health coverage also. What is artificial intelligence? For those who are new to these terms, in this machine perform tasks requiring intelligence, then it is artificial intelligence. Generally, there are two type of things. Machine learning is based on historical data, and some of the artificial intelligence is actually rule based. So combining these becomes artificial intelligence. So algorithm analyze large data set, provide prediction and decision with help in clinical decision support system, not only in CKM, other disease also. Generally, machine learning or artificial intelligence can be divided into two type of problem: regression problem or problem. So classification problem, generally we classify disease condition as a classes based on certain feature, and regression we actually uh, give the values, estimate. Suppose I'm classifying diabetic retinopathy. So the different classes or category will be classification program. But when I am predicting the risk of retinopathy, then we will be using regression models. What are types of AI in healthcare? Earlier we started with expert systems, which were rule based, then machine learning, which were mostly statistics model based, then deep learning came into picture, and from there we started seeing the real might of artificial intelligence. Natural language processing is actually enabled by deep learning only, and the computer vision, we are transformer models are there. We are also discussing about transformer models in image recognition, generative AI, and of course agentic AI, when which we will be transferring certain autonomy to machine. So agentic AI is the next big wave after generative AI and industry, and it will be actually it is applicable for healthcare also. These are machine learning categories. I already told supervised and supervised machine learning. Supervised have regression and classification. Unsupervising have clustering and dimensionality reduction. And then there is a reinforcement learning. So these are certain category of machine learning. Maximum number of software as a medical device, which are AI based in two areas. One is radiology and other is cardiology. Uh, Precision medicine is possible only when technology is there. Means you can customize medicine for each and every person. Only it is from shifting from population based medicine to precision medicine. Only it has been possible because of digital technologies and artificial intelligence, and clinical decision support systems are one of those. Drug discovery acceleration, we already seen in case of vaccine discovery. Drug discovery acceleration is being enabled by artificial intelligence. Public health surveillance at large scale, um, using image recognition software especially, is possible because of artificial intelligence. And of course, and the last but not least, health system optimization. If you cannot deliver the care at affordable cost, then you cannot achieve universal health coverage, because biggest disease in this world is actually poverty. AI for predictive healthcare, if we say, it predicts disease risk. It actually identify high risk patient where actually humans fail at those points also, because um, uh, uh, machines accuracy day by day improves only. It prevents complication if predictive analytics is there, and it's make possible that early detection of disease is there. So that's why AI is very helpful in predictive health care. AI in clinical decision support system, when you say, it integrate patient records, and the biggest problem earlier was there that everyone was having electronic health record which was not standardized. So these electronic health records were not able to communicate with other electronic health records, because those were having the same fields or same type of database. Now generative AI layer sits top of the EHR, and which can actually transform one type of EHR data into other type of EHR data. So now it is very much possible that clinical decision support system sits on the top of a generative AI layer, and where you can get a standardized data from all EHR, and you can make informed decision. So AI based clinical decision support system, they integrate patient record, patient health record we call. Moving beyond EHR, there is a PHR where information related to physical activity, even nutrition related to health patient is possible to integrate into that. Even their paying power and their medical insurance data. So AI based clinical decision support system actually support treatment planning, supports even processing of claim of insurance, everything. There's identify the clinical error, and of course this clinical decision support function, they stratify risk also. They classify disease, they detect they can predict the risk score related to certain disease. So clinical disease support system are already there and improving day by day in many chronic diseases, especially CKM. What are the challenges of CKM, cardio, kidney, and metabolic syndrome? Because the burden of disease is very humongous. So it's a growing health challenge. It is so most of the people, especially in Southeast Asian countries, the people are suffering from CKM disease, and it require actually integrated clinical management because multiple organs are involved in this kind of disease. So in this case, actually, integrated practice units comes into picture, which communicate with each other using this decision support system and information technology. What are background of CKM syndrome? Because you will be hearing this again and again. This is the first talk, and other expert who will be coming after me are more knowledgeable than me on this topic, so you can hear from them. But CKM syndrome involved interconnected organ system, as we see heart, kidney, and other metabolic. This high prevalence in aging population, and aging population is also one of the problem in many part of the world, especially China, Japan, some European country, and it is becoming problem in Indian subcontinent also. Lifestyle factor contributes significantly in CKM disease. That's why PHR data, not EHR data, becomes a very important component of decision support system in this context. Healthcare burden, mortality is increasing in CKM disease, especially nephrology related complication. High healthcare cost is increasing, and it will increase further post this war like situation. There is a supply chain disruption already. We are talking about insulin supply chain disruption. So even in tracking a surveillance of your supply will be also become very important, and artificial intelligence becomes very handy in that. But we'll not go into that topic. But high healthcare cost will be there in near future because of this war-like situation. And in this CKM disease, there is a frequent hospital readmission. So even this clinical decision support system not only help you in making decisions related to your treatment, but also they can predict where there will be readmission and 30-day admission. So we actually at Gulf Medical University, we build a model which actually predicts 30-day readmission in a diabetic patient. So we can develop similar model for CKM. What are clinical challenges related to clinical decision support system? Fragmented healthcare data, which is being solved by generative AI. Late diagnosis of disease progression. So that if data is there and top of that there is some intelligence, it can actually predict or identify the people at higher risk. And limited personalized treatment was there, which is being possible because of this artificial intelligence. We can customize care without increasing the cost. Clinical decision support system actually involved, these are computer-based tool assisting clinician. There will be communication. So this is a knowledge user. It's communicating with interface engine, which is having a knowledge base earlier. Knowledge base was evidence-based medicine. Now it is replaced by algorithm or neural network. So this is AI-powered interface engine. And this is again the communication. So clinical decision support as a black box is not changed, but the component or ingredient under that black box has actually changed, this is black color highlighted portion. So this is uses patient data and clinician knowledge. So earlier it was rule based, now or evidence based. Now it is generating evidence in real time. It can provide alerts, reminder, and treatment suggestion. The one thing which you will keep listening again and in next year when there will be agentic AI in healthcare, in clinical decision support system, that is who will be having the accountability. So if you ask for my opinion, the patient will be the doctor will be the ultimately responsible, because they will be using the clinical decision support system for making the decision related to their practice. And that's why this term you'll be in the loop, HITL. So for accountability sake, or for one another layer of assurance, we have to keep human in the loop. And that's why you, when someone talks about that the machine can replace doctor, no, it cannot in any area. Actually, there will be human in the loop always. But again, the thing is, there will be task-based substitution, not job-based substitution. Some of your tasks will be completely automated by the artificial intelligence. This is AI integrated CDSS architecture, clinical decision support system. There will be data sources like EHR, imaging, wearable devices, data. There will be data processing and feature extraction from that data, and then there will be AI prediction model, which will be giving you classification or regression output. And then there will be another layer, that is explainability of AI model, which is ensured using SAP, PDP, or LIME metrics. So this is actually 4-layer AI integrated CDSS architecture. Why? What are the population specific CKM management? Different populations show different risk profile. So you cannot generalize the models which are developed for Western country on Southeast Asian population. So there will be population specific CKM models. What you can do, even the models which are developed in Western country, you can validate using Indian data before using in clinical setting. There are Indian models like Madhu Netra is there, which is being used by AIIMS Delhi. So already Indians are developing models, and nowadays, because of subsidy provided by Indian government for cloud-based GPUs, now it is affordable also in India to develop and launch your own model for healthcare. Genetic and lifestyle differences makes it necessary that you have a population specific decision support system. And yes, so I was saying that you need to validate the models in a local context before actually using it. This is the typical clinical workflow. In case of clinical decision support system, there will be data collection, then there will be data analysis, then there will be AI algorithms application. Most of in the future, there will be API available for the models, which will be used by clinician, and that will result in superlative care, improved patient outcome. And then it is further due course of time can be optimized for operational efficiency, and that will result in augmented practitioner's capability. So these CDSS will mount on PHR data, will actually augment the capability of CKM practitioners. They will not replace. The replacement will be task based, not job based. What are the benefit of AI in CKM management? You will be able to actually early detect the disease, you can personalize treatment, and you can improve clinical outcomes. And technology which is actually making it possible is actually deep learning. So there will be deep phenotyping. Based on that, there will be deep learning algorithms, and which will result in medicine which will be deep in empathy and connection. And the medicine which we call it is deep medicine, not shallow medicine. So because of this clinical decision support systems, we will move toward deep medicine from shallow medicine. What are the challenges and ethical issues related to use of clinical decision support system? Data privacy concern, algorithm bias, because your data should be balanced. If it is not have balanced data, if it is biased towards certain population, that may result in a biased result. Explainability of AI models is very important. The practitioner which is actually using the clinical decision support system, they should understand the output of the model and how they derive at certain classification or regression. Explainability of AI model, I told, can be achieved by some metric like SAP is there, there is PDP is there, Lime is there. Accountability and responsibility, again, human in the loop is important, and ultimate accountability when you are using a clinical decision support system lies with doctor. What are the future directions? Future direction is there in future from clinical decision support system, we will be moving to digital twin of patient for each patient, which will be having genomic data, will be having the patient history, which will be having your vitals, everything. On the basis of that, we can simulate things and we can actually see which of the treatment will be more effective. So that is the direction where we are moving from clinical decision support system to having the personalized digital twin for each patient. Data privacy issue is one of the concern, where actually when we share data from one what you say hospital to other hospital, there will be privacy issue. But when we go by federated learning for secure data sharing, in that case only the parameters travel, data, actual data doesn't travel from one place to other. In that case we can secure the privacy of the patient also. So there are new DPDP laws related to patient data sharing. Every practitioner should have a master class on DPDP data law, the Act of Indian data sharing, and they should aware, because data privacy issue or data sharing using some models or with make unauthorized data sharing may land you in some medical legal cases also in near future. So that's another area. Wearable based real time monitoring will be possible, and that data can be further feed into digital twin of a patient, and we can make informed decision. There will be medical internet of things. There will be sensor which will be collecting real-time data from every patient in near future, and that data will be feed up into digital twin. So what I say that from clinical decision support system, we are actually many problems are solved, like unstandardized data set, generative AI problem solving problem, models are strong. We are moving towards agentic AI. In future we'll be having the digital twins of patients. On the basis of that, we can make more informed decision before providing any treatment. So that's the future. And with this, I close my talk in 15 minutes. Thank you. I hope it was informative. So key takeaways are AI integrated CDSS can transform CKM management, because burden of disease is higher and we need also digital technology to step into. They can support personalized and population health strategies. They require strong clinical integration. Ethical and data privacy issues need to be addressed first if you want to actually harness the full potential of clinical decision support system, and future may be digital twin. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Vinetos.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your excellent talk. Be there after the talk of Dr. Subhas and Dr. Pramila. We will have a small session of question and answer interaction. Thanks for your excellent talk. Now it's over to
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to leave because my classes are there.
Okay.
So I will
No worry.
ask.
No
Okay,
worry.
thank you.
Be there
Thank you.
at least in the text. We can communicate to that. So thank